There's Megan Good's listening skills in the 21 Questions music video, Megan Fox barely remembering her lines in Transformers, and there's Meg the Stallion bragging about her wet reproductive organs. If you ask around, most folks will say these are the top tier Megs because it damn for sure ain't the one from Family Guy.
I matter!
Shut up, Meg, you don't matter.
You're right, Peter, she doesn't matter. And to add salt to the wounds, there's a new contender for the top Meg on the block, and her name is, surprise, Megan!
It's insane, right?
Megan has been the talk of the internet since his first trailer dropped a couple months ago. That trailer even left an impression on me. I left a mental note that I needed to watch this film. The thing is though, I never looked up its release date, so I was thrown off when someone in my Twitch chat at twitch.tv/theblackokage, wink wink wink, they had asked if I'd seen Megan yet, and if so, what were my thoughts. At the moment, I was doing a poor job of playing Crisis Core Reunion, but I stopped what I was doing and I made sure to confirm that chatter's info. Lo and behold, Megan came out the day in which he asked. I was totally unaware. My next two steps though, these were the most logical things I could have done. The first thing I did was I thanked the chatter for catching my blind spot and making me aware that this movie had just been released. The next thing I did was I paused my below average Crisis Core gameplay and I whipped out my iPhone to text Shotty. That text read something along the lines of, "Dear Shotty, you trying to make it and chill this weekend? Say less. I am always on demon time for you, daddy." Now, after getting confirmation that she would in fact come through, nothing was the same. I made a mental note to pre-order some tickets off of Fandango. Then I unpaused my mediocre Crisis Core Reunion gameplay that, by the way, you can check out over on my gaming channel, The Black Okage. If you need a good laugh, I will leave a link in the description box below to my Crisis Core installed video. But back to Megan. Megan is the latest horror/comedy offering from Universal Studios. It's directed by Gerard Johnstone, known for his previous work on Simone's Wedding, Housebound, and Nothing Special, which is ironic because Nothing Special is the best way to define his past resume. Seems like Megan is his first big opportunity to direct something, and I have to say, sometimes a player just need an opportunity. I enjoyed Megan. Megan is a self-aware, campy horror film attempting to deliver a message that technology is a blessing, but in some cases, we might have taken things too far and we need to be aware of the potential harm it can cause. That's the message I left the theater with, but upon doing research for my script, I came across this interview from the director and he pretty much confirms what I just said.
You know, I wanted to make a movie about, you know, the damage technology is doing and how it's so out of control and how, you know, we need to have a conversation about it.
Man, I gotta say, it feels good to be validated. That is, except for when they try to validate your parking anywhere in LA. You're just trying to have a simple date and whoops, there goes $100. Anyways, he goes on to say in that interview that we do need to have a conversation about technology, but he doesn't want to be preachy about it. I think he succeeded in doing so for most people who are like decent IQ, but I wouldn't be shocked if this movie's message gets lost in translation. Reason being is because, in my opinion, Megan is far more comedy than it is horror. There were several moments in this film where I legit laughed out loud. To me, that's significant because it's a lot of people who find me funny, and the thing about funny people is they tend to be harder to impress. The average person though, they're usually easier to make laugh, and no more prevalent was that than during my screening. There were several people in the theater damn near choking on popcorn from laughing so hard all throughout this movie. I'm like, there's no way they were getting the message of the movie without a couple playbacks. And that's okay. This film chose to be entertaining before anything else, and there's nothing wrong with that. The gist of the story, without giving any major spoilers away, is this lady who works at a toy company secretly invents what's being referred to as the toy of the future. A sentient AI-driven doll named Megan that's programmed to be your kid's best friend and protect the kid from any harm. I wonder what could have went wrong. Well, the problem is, since it's a robot, it took the concept of protection literally, and it begins turning on anyone it deems a threat to that child. And from there, chaos breaks out in several different ways. It's hard for me to call this film horror, seeing as it didn't scare me once. I think thriller would be a better word to describe Megan. The film does a good job of setting this eerie feeling that something is coming, but because everything suggests something is coming, it was hard to get scared. But that's just me. I'm a little harder to scare. She gonna get mad for me telling y'all this, but Shotty was holding on to my arm the entire movie and she kept jumping out of fear. So this film is definitely gonna scare some of you.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
I will say this film is very gruesome. When the action kicks off, it kicks like Hitmonlee. If you have kids, I'd recommend not bringing them to this film. I was genuinely surprised to find out this movie is rated PG-13. I didn't know that until I had walked out of the theater and I saw the posters next to our screening. I don't know what they did to get that rating, but they definitely pushed the limits of the PG-13 rating because I thought this this was rated R with all the blood and the gruesome killing going on. The PG-13 rating though, it did make sense why I saw so many kids running around, because before I found out about that rating, I was genuinely confused. I'm like, why is there so many goddamn Rugrats running around in the theater? My one negative I have for the film is I felt the ending was too predictable. It was a lot of foreshadowing going on if you really pay attention that gave away how things would end. I wasn't mad at the ending per se, I just wish that it wasn't so many hints dropped that gave away where it was going. Instead, just let things play out. Also, I don't understand why M3gan was given super strength. Maybe I need to turn my brain off or something, but the entire situation could have been avoided if they didn't implement the super soldier serum inside of a child's toy, because if the AI went rogue, it wouldn't matter knowing you can easily take it out with your physical strength or a weapon. All in all, I was entertained for the most part. I watched a review from another gentleman where he gave it a 2.5 out of 5 because the film lacked innovation. Now, I would agree with that statement, but where I disagree is that everything needs to be innovative. I love when creatives do something new, but the reality is that not everyone is capable of that. And also, need I mention that not everything that is new is great. Some people are just good at doing iterations. Some people's calling in life is doing evolution, not revolution. We can't all invent the wheel, people. So some of us are just destined to improve the wheel. So I would say learn to take things for what they are. M3gan is a goofy horror film and it's not trying to be anything more. This was like a solid 7 to me. I wasn't blown away, but I was entertained. Why does everything have to be the next Michael Jordan for some of y'all? What's wrong with having a Robert Horry on your team sometimes? Loosen up, have some fun. I'm just saying. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you made it to this part of the video and you have not seen M3gan, please come back after you do. You've been warned. Now, I wanted to briefly touch on how the movie ended. It ended with the film implying that M3gan didn't die because she uploaded her mind to either Gemma's personal assistant or she could have uploaded it to the cloud. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what they were implying. If she did though, I'm just saying, if she did manage to back up her mind to the cloud, the sequel is gonna go crazy. That little girl is gonna terrorize the world the way technology is implemented into our everyday lives. One thing's for sure though, is that we are definitely getting a sequel, and not just because of the way the movie ended, but it's also been revealed that it only cost $12 million to make, and the movie has already made $42 million its opening weekend, and it's sure to make more money. So basically what I'm saying is M3gan has had a low overhead and it's already had a high kickback. Oh yeah, this is going to be a franchise. Now, I say that to say this. If there's any chance that there is a third movie, can we get a team up with Chucky? Or maybe like a Chucky versus M3gan? This could be like the horror equivalent to like Godzilla versus that big ass monkey, King Kong or whatever, Donkey Kong, whatever the shit is. Chucky versus M3gan. The streets will go crazy. Once again, I'm just saying.